I'm switching now to some people pictures. This was in Delhi during I was heading to office, stuck in a jam, and thankfully I found these kids, the children on the roadside. There was a huge puddle, despite it being a highway. There was a huge puddle, and these kids were frolicking in it. They were so happy to be, like I said, the water really makes you react in a very positive way. So this is one of those situations, and there's also, I mean, this image also, in a way, it makes me sad also because she was cold. Those they were enjoying, but when they stepped out, they were cold. So it's like I said, it's boon and bane both. This is I'm sharing this chart because it's the expected picture of monsoon. Though frankly, I've avoided for quite a while not to shoot like this, but some people have liked it, so I've shared it here. It's the water on my windscreen, of course, of the car, and I shot it through that. And but yeah, it's one way of showing that there is water around you. Actually, I like this one more. Why? Because it's this guy who's broken away from the pack. Okay, there's a traffic jam right behind. Everybody's taking shelter from the rain. This guy says, "Okay, I'm gonna cycle. I'm gonna stay warm, and the warmth will dry me up probably." He's just broken loose, and he has the whole road to himself. So this is more fun. These are people who had collected for a protest, and then it started raining. So, there's one thing that I also say is that rain or any such phenomena, when it's a shared adversity, when many people get affected by the same thing, like say for example the metro train, the metro train, not metro, what's it called, the local train in Bombay. So it's the same kind of situation for everybody. It doesn't matter how much money you have in your wallet, but everybody's sharing that kind of situation where everything is a little bit of a friendly struggle. Everybody knows that we have to get to work, and this is the best way of doing it. So because of that shared adversity, there is a lot more compassion amongst all. So I think that is why probably Bombay is a kinder city also in many ways. And same I would say when it comes to the mountains also, because everybody has to climb that mountain. So it doesn't matter whether rich, poor, old, young, everybody has to climb up and down that mountain. So that shared adversity kind of makes you, in a way, a more human being and a more compassionate being. So here also, there's one or two plastic sheets available. They're all sharing it because it's everybody wants shelter from the rain. There's no mine here. So rain actually brings that, any such adversity brings that out. The way people react, and they become, like I said, a little more human. This person is a homeless. He was on the streets of Delhi only. So like I said, it's these are always two sides to everything in life. So here he is. He's outdoors, and that's his house. So when it's raining, it's not so easy for him. So yeah, we should be, in a way, grateful to God that we have a roof above our heads. Many people don't. But still, he carries on. I would say it is his strength that he can carry on with despite that negative situation. It's like God has probably made him stronger, I would say. I will not look at him with any pity. Let's not do that at all. I would say he's a stronger person. Unfortunate, but stronger. Like here, these are same children, same place actually, in Zamuddin area. And they were playing and it started raining and they had this fabric. They said, okay, let's cover ourselves. So how life finds a solution. I think that's what it says. I couldn't find the original of this picture, so I've left my AP picture here. So that's the monument. So how silhouettes against the sky can also work. Okay, that's why I brought this in sequence. This is Tarun Khiwal's picture. I'd seen it during one of his shows. It may be Monsoon, but I'm not sure. I didn't ask him. But he had shared this picture as a way of, how he's using the outdoor space also in a fashion shot. And he's keeping the Indian elements very kind of intact here. It's a sari that he's showing off in a very different way. It's not a typical studio shot where it's all manicured. He's actually stepped out and used the outdoor space. So the reason I'm showing is that one would encourage photographers from different genres also to think about contribution, because there is scope. There is I have some other pictures later which there is so much that the monsoon can lend in terms of possibilities. So even for say like a pre-wedding shoot or even a product shot that can be shot in this using this monsoon scenario to advantage, or even if it is portraiture or anything else. There is every genre I would say can fit into this requirement, and hence I mean it's just I would say this contest can invite entries from all. I'm showing this picture by Steve McCurry. It's one of my early inspirations. When we were younger, there was not so much content to come by you. And this, there was this book that Steve McCurry had called The Monsoons, and it was a beautiful book. There are controversies around it, right? I'm not getting there, but I mean, it for me at that time, he became a guru of sorts because like I said, there was very little coming our way. So whatever came, we would just absorb fully like a sponge. And here is a scenario where, here's a man who's, okay, flood waters, fine. My machine was getting a little this thing, and he's taking it across. We take it in our stride. We take, especially in India, I mean, I think especially the poor in India, I think they are much stronger people because they know how to get past. They know that tomorrow is a better day. So, I mean, this is again a reflection of that. He's smiling, he's fine. It's like neck deep in water, but he's smiling. Same Steve McCurry's picture only. I really like this one. This is also Steve McCurry again. Same book also. It was in the same book also. How it's in Indonesia though, not in India, but I love the colors and the whole gentleness of the light. And how see in that soft light, the greens actually pop. What you said about the green color is part of the Vibgyor center. So the green actually, the eyes are so much more sensitive to green. And in this light, it really shines out. This is something you'll find a lot in India also. And just today I moved some pictures of a dentist clinic completely submerged in flood waters, but this is part of that book, so I left it here. Again, amongst my early inspiration was a very strong inspiration was Raghuveer Singh's work. This image really, like, when I first saw it, it shook me to the core. That here is such a very different and a very subtle way of telling the same story or same narrative. And here you must, people who haven't seen Raghuveer Singh's work, I'm sure most have, because he's amongst India's iconic masters of photography. He's a contemporary of Raghu Rai at that time. He didn't, he died earlier, I would say, but his images are, really, really strong. Everybody must check out his work. Monsoon is definitely, this picture is from Monsoon, but his other work on so many aspects of India is really, really amazingly strong. I've kept Raghuji's work also because he's always an inspiration. These are in Ladakh. I'm sure people know about these pictures. But again, I'm showing this because see how in a very in a graphical way, he's played around with the cloud patterns. And Ladakh, of course, gives you that opportunity abundantly. It's almost like the clouds in a Thangka painting because they just come pop, 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 and they light up the sky. But it's a desert area, so the rain is not so much. But yet, when there are clouds, the sky just becomes dramatically alive and changes by the second, not even by the minute. It's because it's windy. It's like I said, it's like clouds come like Thangka clouds. They come like in tufts. So they just dynamically, paint the sky so vividly. Another one by Raghuji, which I really liked, is the way he's used the pano. Again, I'm encouraging panos. I showed one of mine earlier, and this grandeur can best be captured maybe through a pano. So like this is really, really, this is so amazing. It's like if you've seen the work of this painter called Escher, he makes these in like the endless staircase that keeps going around. It's almost like that kind of quality it has. It's just like it's like continuity that Raghuji has captured so well. Some work, this is by Todd Hito, some work which is slightly different in terms of approach. And here, how a fill in flash in this case, has, you can almost feel the drops falling on your face, which is what makes it so interesting. This is by Gareth Phillips, sorry. And again, how a spider web becomes a subject. Something so ordinary that you will not even look at it twice, but it lends itself so much. You just have to look for it. It's always there. Yeah, some more of this is by Sam Harris, and see how like maybe he did that cleaning of the window. Maybe his child did. We don't know, or somebody else did. But it's so beautiful. You can feel the wetness in this picture. Same here. It's a child playing. Children love to do that. They'll on the cars. They'll make it. Especially like if you're sitting inside an AC car, then the windows crossed up, and you love to play, make patterns on it. Especially when you're on a long drive, the kids are getting bored. Again, it's how reflections can really just transform any kind of space. So it's like the mirror always is like a possibility. It's what is behind the mirror kind of a thing. So the water gives that mirror of everything around us. So how reflections can hence become very, very exciting and a very another kind of space to explore. And the whole mysteriousness that the rain can also bring. If it's stark and dry, that's one way of looking at things. But when it's uh, mysterious, like in this case, or just today my wife was sharing this video of Guru Dutt's shots of it was a song, and how he kind of pans his camera, and how that light, dappled light in some case, or the light and shadow in some case, how it just uh, makes it so because it's not straight. It makes it even more exciting, because then the possibilities are not in front of you, the possibilities are in your head. There is so much you can imagine. From you get one, but you can imagine 10 or 100 or 1,000, whatever. So that's why sometimes it is not best to write A for apple. Just leave it like a and it could be like whatever. And have so many ends to it. Similarly, I'm sharing some work by my college friend, a very close friend of mine, Gaurav Bharadwaj. He loves the outdoors also. In fact, he's right now wanting to move to the mountains also. And these are pictures that he's done for advertising work. So, which is why I've shared this, because he's used the monsoon landscape in a different way. In this case, it is a fashion shot. But he used to often go to these lakes in Uttarakhand, where like I think this is one of those Satal, Nahuchiatal, one of those lakes, and he's shot this picture there. Similarly, this one also. Now here it's a product shot almost, shot in the great outdoors. Again, this is it's a bike shot, and it's an advertising shot. I think that's it. Close with this.
All right. Would there be any additional tips or probably word of advice that you'd like to give to the participants?
I would just say that you know mm, I'm dabbling with spirituality these days, or not these days, the last 10 years, maybe 20. So amongst the recent things that I've heard and I would love to share is that when we listen with the ears, but the mind is in between. But behind the mind is the intellect. And behind the intellect, there are many more things. I don't want to get there right now. But when we listen with our ears and our mind, then we get stuck with the sound, right? But if you just let that be and just let it come, then it goes beyond the logic of the mind, and it settles not just in the intellect but even further deep in our consciousness. And that way, the way we see things, or not see, I would say perceive things. I mean, we're not seeing anymore, we are perceiving straight away now. So there is a different kind of processing that happens. Why I'm telling you this is that often, we go out with the cameras in a very structured way. Oh, it has rained, I must get reflections, I must get water droplets, I must get people getting wet in the rain, I must get flooding. We have these preconceived notions of that's how rain is depicted, so I must go and do it. I would say, please don't use logic. Go out like a poet. Just step out and be free. Let it come. Let it come to you, and let it come and go in. And then react. Then pick up the camera. Okay? Don't just go with a logical mind saying, this is what uh, the judges would be expecting from me. So I must go and shoot. Oh, I've seen these pictures already on the website. So I must get something that is close to that, or maybe slightly better than that. I'll see one street flooded, two street flooded, four street flooded. Then I'll say, okay, can I see something else, please? Right? So I mean, to borrow from Ratatouille movie, surprise me is the word that I would say. Hmm. Yeah,
All right.
it does that answer. I hope that answers.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it does. It does. So you're basically open to anything that's unique than what is usually already happening.
Yeah. Go beyond the expected, basically. Surprise your own self also, not just me. I'm nobody. Surprise yourself. Like, do that.